Hi there, it's Rebecca Santaw. I'm a Creative Memories Advisor from Easley, South Carolina, and I just wanted to do a quick video today. I'm not going to do a full process video, but I am going to show you how I have been using calendar pages in my current project. This is my album from 2019, but it's my current project, and I like to put calendars in my albums. I'm a planner girl. It helps me keep track of, I scrapbook chronologically. Helps me keep track of the events of the year. So I just wanted to show you what I do. This is how the planner pages come. They're the This Life calendars, This Life calendar pages, and they're still available on the website. I understand that they have plenty, so I'm not sure if they're going to replace them or what. But this is what they look like when they come. They're blank. They have stickers that you can put the numbers on the appropriate days and stuff. And then they've got these colored headers that you could put on with. You can get they come with the month titles that you can put on. You can decorate your headers however you want, but this is how they come. And I'll use that in a minute to show you what I've been doing. So I've done a couple in the album just full page like this. This takes up a lot of real estate in your album as a full page, and you don't want to fill your albums too full, obviously, and I'm doing a whole year in an album. So I have started doing something like this using a 6x12 Peekaboo Pocket for a calendar. So this is my January calendar, and I use the oh gosh, I forget what they're called. They're these little clear archival photo corners, I think, just to tuck that in there. And so this is, in and of itself, its own page. This page doesn't necessarily have to do with the calendar, although it is from January. And you open it up, and there's my January page. I didn't have a lot in January. Here's February. And then if we keep looking on, so this is a random page of a craft show I did, but this will flip up and you'll get the March calendar page. So that has been my method through most of this album. This is April's. Just a normal 2-page spread, but I found a way to use basically the negative underneath to fit in my calendar pages. This is 2 different calendar pages. This is May, and this one is June. So I'm really loving how this is working in this album. And see, therefore, if I had done these as full page calendar pages, this would have been 4 pages. The May calendar, this layout, the June calendar, and then this layout. That would have been 4 pages. I've now got it into 2 pages. So I'm loving how it's saving me space, and I just kind of wanted to share with you how I'm doing it. So you have to do a little bit of creative cutting, but it's not bad. Your calendar page, like I said, comes like this, and you're going to want to cut it. Now, it would be perfect if you could cut 6 inches straight in half and be done with it. But 6 inches is going to put you in the middle of this date block, and that's just not going to work. So you're going to want to cut the bottom 3 date blocks off, and that is actually 5¼ inches. So you cut that off. That's going to be the part that goes on your page. And so this is November. This is the current page that I'm working on. I've already put it together. So the 5¼ strip goes on your page. You don't necessarily have to make up the other 3/4 inches, but you can. Let's see, I think I have done it on a couple of these, and I'll show you what I did. Where's April? I think I did it on April. So this one, I put 2 strips of green there to make up the extra. Let's see if I did it here. This one, I took, again, some strip. And so this, when you cut off the 5 1/4 inches down here, then you're going to be left with 6 3/4 inches up here, which obviously is too big to fit in your 6 by 12 Peekaboo pocket. So you're going to have to cut 3/4 inches off the top of this. And, you know, they all have tonal on the back. So what I did was I just took that 3/4 inch strip and just fit it. I either cut it in half or I just put it on one side or the other, depending on which month it was, to fit it around the smaller piece on the bottom. But again, you don't have to do that. It'll just fit right on the base of your page perfectly, and you're covering it up with the Peekaboo pocket. Now I will say, I do tend to scrapbook with top-loading pages, but for this method, I prefer to use a white, let's get this page out of my way because I don't need that. I prefer to use a white refill page because it's a little more sturdier, and because the way the protector goes on, if you use the top loading page and then you're putting your calendar 6 by 12 Peekaboo pocket on the top, I feel like it's going to pull on the top loading page, pull on the, you know, protector. So you're gonna want to use a refill page that you can put a regular protector on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the protector on mine. Just slip this in here. And another thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have a layout that is conducive to a 6 by 12. So like the layout that I used for this one was from December's Virtual Crop. And it's this layout right here from December's Virtual Crop. So you can just look at a layout and see, okay, that is a 6-inch strip. And, you know, sometimes it's going to be, you know, maybe an 8-inch strip or something. That'll work fine. And you're just going to have to think about your page in sections. There's 2 ways you can do it, actually. You can think about it in sections, which is how I did this one. I scrapbooked this piece, which is the piece that's going to go, I'm sorry, I'm not showing you off camera there. I scrapbooked this piece, which is the piece that goes in the 6 by 12 Peekaboo pocket. And then I added to my page the other pieces. You know, the rest of the strip here, so that it looks like it's a full strip. The borders, I added those to the page. You know, laying this down, making sure, you know, using my mat, the measurements on my mat, making sure I'm 6 inches apart so it all looks cohesive when I put the pocket on. And so I've used sketchbooks, I've used virtual crop layouts. You just want to make sure that it's one that's going to be conducive to a 6 by 12 Peekaboo pocket. And there are lots out there that are. This one, for instance, is conducive to a 6 by 12, but you're not going to want to use this one because it's vertical unless you rotate the sketch. It's not going to work to cut your calendar page vertically and do it where it opens to the side. That's not going to work out with this method, so you're just going to want to have to use a horizontal 6 by 12. So I've got my protector on the page, and now I'm going to put my piece in my 6 by 12 Peekaboo pocket. So like I said, that's right. You're going to want to make sure when you're doing it that you're doing it on the right side. Like for instance, I actually scrapbooked on the back of the calendar page because the color of the base of the calendar page worked for this page. It matched. You don't have to do that. You can take a completely separate 6 by 12 inch strip to scrapbook, you know, your layout there, and then slide it in behind your calendar page. You can do that. If you're going to scrapbook directly on the back of the calendar page like I did, you want to make sure that you're, you know, facing the right way so that when you flip it up, the calendar's, you know, the correct orientation, and then when you flip it, so you know you're gonna have to have it upside down. So there's that. Also, another way you can do it is, and I'm not sure if I've done, let me look through real quick. You can scrapbook a full page, like on a cardstock or something, you know, scrapbook on a full 12 by 12 page and then cut it in half. Let's see if I've done, that's what I did here. I created this whole page on a 12 by 12, this designer paper, which is, I think it's from Go Fetch. And again, use your mat, use your 13 by 13 mat with the measurements to make sure that you're going to have, like I made sure I had this square basically aligned to where it's going to be able to be cut right in the center. But I scrapbooked this entire page and then I just cut it in half. And when I cut it in half, then I put the bottom of the calendar on my white refill page, and I put the bottom half of the layout on the bottom of the white refill page. So that's how I did that one. And again, it works perfectly. So that's another way to do it. But like I said, for this one, I just picked a layout and did it in pieces. And honestly, if you can find a layout that works to where you scrapbook the whole page and then cut it in half, that's much easier. But that's also easier if you're going to be using the calendar on the top or the bottom. For this one, like I said, it worked out with the sketch that it goes in the middle. So I had to, you know, do it separately. So anyways, I've got my calendar in my Peekaboo Pocket. Oops. And I love how they've got these white strips on the back to get to your sticky, because it used to be very, very hard to get that strip off. But now you're just going to line it up as good as you can. And actually, see, I've got this on my lines, and I know that I'm going to need to put just halfway between these two mats, really. And there we go. It's a little off, just slightly off, but these are very forgiving. You can pull them up and put them right back down. Make sure I've lined it up on this paper line here. I want to make sure it's lining up. See? There we go. All right, that is lined up, and there we go. Perfect. And there we go. That page is done. There's my calendar. Now, let me get my... These, I don't think they have anymore. I think they sold out of these. So, I don't know, maybe people weren't using them enough. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm trying to find the big, there's two different sizes in here. There's the bigger ones. They are Archivers photo corners. And if you want them to come back in stock, please write in and let them know. I think I'm going to put the photo corner on this side because then I'll have room to put a tab on this side. And I have been putting tabs on all of them, but I'll do that later. I don't have my tab cut out right now. Just kind of gotta open it there with your fingernail. There we go. I like to put it on the corner, snug it on the corner, and then lay it down and attach it to my page, so that way I know it's in the exact spot that I want it. And then it won't flip when you're, you know, flipping through your album. And the reason I do that, especially on these calendar pages, is you want it to look like this is the page that you're looking for. Because this is, you know, I've got the companion page here. This is my layout. Then I can flip it up and see what else happened in October. So, and if you want just a little sneak peek of this layout, I'll show you. This is a technique that I have not done yet before. I don't think I have done it once before in a different album, but I just had a little bit more pictures for this event, and I didn't want to do 4 pages. I wanted to put it all on 2 pages. So I used an 8x8 Peekaboo Pocket here and added some more pictures. And then I also used a 4x6. So we've got several pictures, but I just wanted to get it all on that 2-page spread. So there you have it. That is how you use a 6x12 Peekaboo Pocket for your calendar pages. And I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know in the comments what you think.